Hi everyone, and welcome to another great car here on the Car Reviews podcast with CollectorCarCanada.CA. Today we've got a 1995 Porsche 911 6-speed manual coupe, which is an amazing car as it is. 993, the last generation of air-cooled 911s. But this one is something special. It's track prep with all kinds of RS and club sport appointments. And even better than that, the engine was prepared by Andial. Porsche real purists and aficionados will know the name Andial. A small bit of background on Andial is it's a company started by three Germans in 1975, and it's well known for building engines in the 917 and the 962 eras of Porsche racing. Now, almost 40 years later, or 50 years later rather, they're one of the principals is still living, but of course not active in the business anymore. But to lend credibility to the name, Porsche bought Andial back in, I think it was 2013, it might have been 2014. Lending further credibility is that one can buy an 100% cotton Andial t-shirt on the Porsche Design website for the low price of $93. So if that doesn't validate the name Andial, I'm not sure what does. More layman's terms, I think it's probably analogous to AMG and Mercedes, where AMG started customizing and building performance parts for Mercedes-Benz's in the 80s, a little bit later. And then sure enough, Mercedes-Benz bought AMG. Same kind of thing, Porsche bought Andial. It doesn't really capitalize and monetize the name so much. Interestingly, at the end of the 997 911 generation, which corresponds time-wise with the Porsche purchase of Andial, there were 5 GT3 Cup cars produced with Andial livery. Anyway, getting back to the car at hand, as I say, it's pretty exciting to have an Andial engine in this 911 we're offering here at CollectorCarCanada.CA, lot 223. So what I'll do is I'll start the engine, we'll have a listen to the engine itself, and we'll hear the exhaust pipe sing, and then we'll take a little tour of the car. So without further ado. So a nice easy start. I won't claim it to be a cold start. The owner drove the car over here to meet us, but nice easy warm start. And I'll climb out now and we'll do a big section of the video with me holding the camera. So I'll be right over. Okay, so heading back to the rear here in the engine compartment. This engine is a 3.6 liter flat 6 engine for a 993. It is not the engine original to the car. When the owner of this car sort of came into the opportunity of snapping up the Andial engine, he swapped it in, and he just sold the original engine to this car. So technically not a numbers matching car, but the Andial engine certainly adds a lot of value to it, more so than the original engine would. So we've got an RS pulley in place here, and there are modifications to the engine. Please do take a look at our detailed listing for lot 223, and you'll hear about it. You can see right now the AC is not running. We detail that in the detailed listing. You can also see R134A. So if the new owner wants to reconnect, certainly the new refrigerant has been converted over. So I'll stop speaking now. We can get a good listen to this flat 6. Again, a 3.6 liter, stock to a 993, Andial prep, not stock to this car. It's also worth mentioning the burial ram system. I'll take a little look at the engraving here, and same thing. There's a little bit of detail about it on our listing at lot 223. So a nice tidy engine compartment. We'll go down here and take a listen to the exhaust. good listen at the engine and the exhaust. Being that we don't need to burn fuel for no reason, I'll shut down the engine and we'll take a little tour of the exterior of this 1995 911 993 Coupe with 6-speed manual, Andial prepped engine with many RS and Club Sport parts installed. Again, take a look at our detailed listing for lot 223 on Collector Car Canada to get a sense of that. So the car has been refinished in its original midnight blue, and the paint was applied in early 2024. So effectively a brand new paint job on this car, and it shows. I'll try to look for flaws as we circle the car, but we've already done our photos, and if there are any, I didn't notice them then, but I'll keep a keen eye out for them. So here we have an RS splitter up front, and you'll note that there's an air intake there instead of another light lens. The round lens on the right side of the screen right now is the daytime running light. So that's sort of noteworthy because the car is a US market car. When we get inside, you're going to see instrumentation in miles and miles per hour. The current owner lived in Houston, Texas when he bought this car out of Miami in 2002. So he's a 22-year owner, and a few years later he was transferred up to Vancouver, BC. And during that time, he registered the car with the Registrar of Imported Vehicles, RIV.CA, and the importation into Canada was effective. He's been in Ontario for, I think, about 12 years now. So the car's been based in Burlington, Ontario for about 12 years. We'll have the precise dates on that on the Carfax report, clean Carfax, I might add, that's on the detailed listing for lot 223. And just as I say Carfax, it brings up another interesting item in that this buyer's been really upfront with us. Of course, he wants to make the play for the Andial engine because it really does add a lot of value for this car. But there's a clean Carfax in terms of no collisions. However, he has mentioned to us that a fender was replaced because of a track mishap. So it escapes the eye of Carfax, of course. But he's been very upfront about that with us. More details on the detailed listing for lot 223. So I really do like the angle I'm at right now. It really is quite a sexy look on this 993. I mean, a 993 Coupe to start with is quite a striking looking car. But with all the RS appointments, this one even steps it up a notch. So getting close to the wheel and tire combo, these are a set of Speedline wheels. So another considerable upgrade with the colored Porsche centers. They're lined in Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, and the tires have very little mileage on them. They haven't been on the car long, but I did notice when we were doing photos that the fronts are dated 2018 and the rear's 2020. The car's been stored in indoor heated surroundings, so I don't notice any wear on the tires, but I do want to be upfront about the dates on them, even though they have under 2,000 kilometers on them. But those Speedlines, certainly they're an easy four-figure, well into the four figures, I suppose. Some might even say 5 figures for those Speedline rims. You'll also see the big red Porsche branded calipers, as well as the cross-drilled rotors. Again, the calipers are another RS piece. There's more detail again on the detailed listing about them. So just doing a quick walk around, I do see a bit of a ding here in the driver door. I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up or not, but I'll place a Toonie to its right, and I'm not sure if that will be picked up or not because it's quite slight, but in the light we're in now, I do notice it. Here's a good look at the profile of the car, and of course it's hard not to notice that rear RS spoiler. Both the front splitter and the rear spoiler are authentic OEM Porsche RS parts. So getting a little closer to the car, you can see that it's equipped with a sunroof. Right now the sunroof is disconnected. All parts to get it functional again are included with the car. Just while I'm thinking of it, it'll be hard not to think of it when I'm in the cabin of the car. But the car was equipped with air conditioning from the factory and of course a heater. Neither one of those is currently connected. You can get fresh air from the blower on the cabin, but that's it in terms of air inside the air circulation inside of the cabin. But again, all parts to reconnect both heater and air conditioner are included with the car, which is again lot 223 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Getting in close at the rear driver's side speed line, the Michelin Pilot 4S's in the rear are sized at 265, 35, 18. Of course, they've got a Y speed rating. And up front, it's a staggered setup. Up front, we've got 225, 40 R18s, also Y rated. So we got a good look at the engine compartment, but there's a good look at the maybe excessive authentic RS rear spoiler. And we've got the lens going all the way across. Modern 911s only get the lens all the way across if they're a four-wheel drive vehicle. This is rear only, rear drive vehicle. And I think we've got the original exits here, chrome finished, dual exhaust. When the car was dynoed after the Andial engine was installed in the current owner's custodianship, it was turning about 320 horsepower. And I had the pleasure of being in the passenger seat when we filmed some driving videos of the car, which I encourage you to take a look at. Again, lot 223 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. And you'll see that the car not only scoots when it's punched, but boy, does it ever sound good too. So working our way around. So here we are on the sun side of the car, and that 2024 application of the midnight blue paint really does look sharp. More than one person has come over since we started shooting here at this site, and we even got a holler from a SN95 Mustang GT in yellow that this was a nice car, and heck, I guess the guy's right. As much as I like his Mustang, this is really something. So yeah, that's a good look at it, and I'll cruise in again on this front splitter from the passenger side. Again, an authentic Porsche OEM part. One thing the owner wanted us to point out, there's no rust on these rims, but they do suffer from a bit of upset, presumably from some brake dust settling on them. So no scratches, no curb rash, but you can see the speed lines do show some remnants of brake dust that probably wasn't cleaned off right away. So I'd say from where I'm standing now, they look amazing, but if you get really close and you're really choosy, maybe the owner wants to get those refinished. Certainly the value of these rims makes it easy to rationalize the refinishing. So again, 225, 40, 18 up here in the front, and a 2018 date code for the front tires. And then again on the rear, 265, 35 R18 in the rear. And just looking for the date code back here. Oh, here it is. So 2020 for the rear tires. But again, under 2,000 kilometers and stored in climate controlled conditions since they were new. So a nice look at the beauty shot of this 1995 Porsche 911 Carrera Coupe, 6-speed manual transmission with Andial prepped 3.6 liter flat 6 engine. So that's a good look at the exterior. Let's climb inside, and I'll take you through a little tour of the inside, which also has its fair share of track appointments. I'm gonna pull that key to get rid of the warning bell. And so I'm not gonna sit in the car right away so that I can give you a good view of these Recaro seats. here's a label for them. There's also a photo of this label on the detailed listing if you want to refer to it for all the data regarding the seats. But a pretty high-end Recaro racing, not only seat but seats. Often I see these cars that are both street cars and track cars where only the driver's seat's been changed, but this owner's gone to the trouble of changing both seats. And I did mention the track a few times. Certainly this car is street legal, and I also want to point out that this owner decided to make use of our pre-purchase inspection service. So the car's been inspected, it passed with serious flying colors. The only thing that the inspector noted was this steering wheel, which is aftermarket, as you might guess. It's a Momo with Porsche branding ×2. The original steering wheel for this car has an airbag. So the airbag light is on, being that there's no airbag installed in the current steering wheel. The original steering wheel is included with the car. So if you prefer, you can put the original steering wheel in and get rid of that airbag. So a good look at the rear here. The rear seats have been removed. A 911 would have rear seats here in 1995, and there are also some performance parts there we get into on the detailed listing. The carpet may look a bit Spartan to Porsche people. Certainly Porsche, as time goes by, becomes more and more luxurious. But this carpet's been deliberately changed for weight savings on the track. The sound deadening insulation has been removed for the same reason. It might be difficult for me to get the camera at the right angle, but there's a look at the floor behind the driver's seat, uncovered. Very clean, very clean. And then the footwell here at the driver and on the passenger side, it's a metal check plate. I think it might be aluminum to save on weight as well. And you can see the 3 pedals, being that it's a manual transmission car. And in the console, we're mostly looking at tan for color. 6-speed manual transmission, and the shift knob's been changed out to a performance part as well. We get right into that on the detailed listing as well. And then the instrumentation is stock VDO instrumentation with fuel gauge, oil pressure, oil temperature, and then in a center mounted tack. And it's been slanted so that the needle points straight up at max horsepower readings. So that's a very common thing for track cars. You see it a lot on 944s, actually, Porsche 944s. And there's a look at the speedo topping out at 180 miles per hour. Again, a US car originally delivered in Miami, purchased by this owner out of Miami when he lived in Houston, Texas. And it shows under 90,000 miles. And there's a functional clock. It right now is 5:05, so the clock is still functioning. And then in the center here, we've got the normal factory complement of control. So 4 ways, power locks, and window switches. Or sorry, that's a sunroof switch, but it's, as I said, deactivated right now. A modern head unit and rear defrost and fog light control there. There's quite a nice sound system to go with that head unit. We've got Polk speakers in the doors, as well as these tweeters up here. And there's a good look at the passenger's footwell. The ashtray is just a push in and it slides right out, nice and clean. And then the glove box is over here, also perfectly clean here. Nothing in it right now. So, and there are the HVAC controls. Again, right now, fresh air only in terms of HVAC. So another good look at the door card. So this, to save weight again, the standard door latch has been removed in favor of this strap. And then the door pull is very basic as well. A typical 911 would have a map pocket built into an armrest with the door pull. But again, to save weight with the track use of this car in mind, the straps in place for the latch, and then just a basic door pull. So I think that's a pretty good tour of the interior. I'll walk around the exterior again. Oh, I don't think I've shown you underneath in the front trunk. I'll do that right now. Very clean again. There are there are lots of photos of what's underneath the carpet here that we'll show in the video on our detailed listing for lot 223. So for the sake of the video, I'm not going to peel the carpet back. I'll just show off how clean it is here, and know that the stock space saver deflated spare tires under there as well, with a bunch of other fluids and controls. Again, please take a look at the photos of it on our detailed listing. So we'll take one further walk around the exterior. Again, a 1995 Porsche 911 993 generation coupe with 6-speed manual transmission and the Andial prepared 993 3.6 liter flat 6 engine. Again, this car's just been refinished in midnight blue, and boy, it does look sharp. It's no surprise that we got some hoots and hollers from passing motorists. So I'll zoom in on this Porsche logo in its normal spot up front, and then we'll move over to some closing thoughts. So that's a good look at our 1995 Porsche 911 993 generation 6-speed manual with Andial prepared 993 3.6 liter flat 6 engine. Please do take a look at, I missed 6-speed manual transmission. Please do take a look at all of the performance details listed in our detailed listing, which is lot 223 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. You're going to see a whole host of RS appointments, club sport parts that are installed. Of course, we've got the Speedline wheels and the fresh midnight blue refinishing. I'm not quite sure what to say about this car. I've run out of superlatives. It really is a standout. We're really excited to have it on the site. So again, lot 223 on CollectorCarCanada.CA, 1995 Porsche 911 993 generation with 993 3.6 liter Andial prepped flat 6 engine and a 6-speed manual transmission. Again, please take a look at the detailed listing. There's so much more to say about this car. For now, thank you for watching, and on to the next car.